welcome back to another episode of Beauty Within. We're your hosts,
Felicia
and Rowena. If you've been following our show for a while, you're probably well aware of how mind-blown and starstruck we are over how effortlessly our skin functions and just works to protect our body.
And the more that we dig and learn and understand about our body as a vessel and our skin as a big organ, this will allow us to tell what kind of skin conditions we have and what our skin type is.
So today we're going to be giving you guys a quick refresher about our skin, the importance of a happy and moisturized skin barrier, because this is the foundation of eternal youth, and of course talking about Tulle, because you can't talk about a happy, healthy skin barrier without mentioning transepidermal water loss.
So that's the theory, and of course it wouldn't be another Beauty Within episode if we didn't recommend you guys some products that we've been loving. But the cool thing about this selection is that they're all rooted and sourced with water in mind, hydration. And hydration is the key to solving most, probably all, skin issues, and also nourishing and moisturizing and keeping that skin barrier healthy, which is the most important part. And this video is sponsored by Belif. They have the Aqua Balm, which I've used for years. It's a gel formula moisturizer, which is like the best for oily skin. Yeah, and they have a lot of other products in their range, which we want to show you guys, and how you can utilize water-based products like these to really nourish and hydrate your skin, especially because it's getting real cold.
Yeah.
And shout out to our bangs. Whee! Let's just get into the video.
Quick refresher on our skin. Our skin is made up of 3 layers: the epidermis, the dermis, and the hypodermis.
And each layer has its own special functions to keep our body in tip-top shape.
The epidermis is the uppermost layer of skin that's directly exposed to environmental factors and pollutants in the air. It's the first line of defense, if you will.
And this is basically where all skincare products like
Target.
flourish. Yeah. And then you have the dermis layer, which is the second layer, and this is where many of the skin's functions, like the hardcore functions, will lie. You'll see hair follicles, hair bulbs, sebaceous glands, and bacteria, sweat glands, and even nerve endings. And all of these are nestled within this layer. So it's like the sensitive friend.
Yeah. Additionally, you'll also find collagen and elastin proteins in this layer, which are important for maintaining that bouncy, youthful, glowing, bing bing skin that we all want.
And just for reference, this is how things like retinol works in the dermis plumping layer. And then you have the really deep one, the hypodermis, which makes up the third layer. And this layer of skin contains fat and connective tissue that you can think of as like an extra padding, or like when you think of skin as a plush pillow, that's where it's plush. And while all these 3 layers are important for keeping our skin functioning normally, we'll be focusing on the epidermis, since that's what our skin barrier is predominantly made up of.
When you look at the epidermis, the top of this layer is the stratum corneum and helps prevent things like bacteria, toxic chemicals, free radicals, ultraviolet light from the sun, and any external nasties from entering and harming the deeper layers of the skin.
And on top of that, this layer is also helping to hold water, aqua, from escaping from inside our body, because we're made up of water. And the epidermis is made up of stacks of flattened cells, or corneocytes. And each of these is a thick coating of fat or lipids that surrounds it. And when this functions well, the skin becomes hydrated, it's plump, it's firm, it's like a fresh grape. But when your skin barrier breaks down, not in a cool like chicka chicka way,
Like
yeah, it's like a meh, existential crisis way, your overall skin health goes down with it. And when the skin barrier gets weak, the skin loses water or dries out, and it's like that brick wall that starts to crumble and Humpty Dumpty falls down. And this is when your skin can show up as like inflamed or dehydrated or itchy or flaky on the outside. All you need to know is a lack of hydration in the skin, also known as transepidermal water loss, or Tulle,
is a passive process where moisture from the deeper layers of the skin travel up to the surface and evaporates into the air. And it is a completely autonomous function, which is very different from sweating.
So sweating is an active process, and when we sweat, we're exerting energy or stressing, you know, like hot flushes. I get like a mustache sweat, and it's our body's natural way of responding to the nerve impulses causing our body temperature to increase.
back to Tool. Throughout the day, our skin is constantly losing moisture and water is evaporating.
And the analogy is you leave any clothing that's wet, whether it's a towel, a t-shirt, on the drying line outside, you leave it there all day, you come back, it's gonna be dry. And that's exactly the same as our skin. You know, if we go about our day and we don't put anything on it to hydrate it, protect it, it's gonna be dry.
And on a daily basis, our skin passively loses about 1 pint or 473 grams of water, even when we're sleeping. Let's get into your favorite part of the show.
Products! Yay! Sometimes your face is dry, not because of the products that you're not using or using, it's because you're internally drying up. Yeah, and like this is a new thing that I've kind of implemented. The first thing you should have in the morning is a whole cup of water. Warm water, because that also induces like bowel movement.
So today we'll be going over Belif, of course. There's Origins, Purito, Hada, Labo, H2O+, which is a new brand that we're pretty excited about, and Dr. Jart.
And then there's Kiehl's, N.M.F, and a mask from Mediheal, which is a really popular brand and really good when it comes to masking. So let's start with cleansing.
So we have 2 cleansers, this one,
and this one.
So this is the Belif Aqua Balm Jelly Cleanser. This is a glycerin-based cleanser, which makes it super, super hydrating.
You know, the first time I squeezed it out, it reminded me of that Japanese raindrop cake. It's like clear, but it holds its kind of like form, but it's very watery.
It doesn't feel like a cleanser. It's not sticky like a cleanser. It kind of applies like a moisturizer.
With very gentle and natural products, you can do that dry cleanse, which is applying it straight from the tube a little bit and then massaging it in and then adding water to emulsify it.
Some people swear by this. So if you have trouble with skin in general, it's worth trying.
So like comparing it to Crave or Then I Met You.
The texture is very different.
Crave and Then I Met You is more, it's got a little texture, it's soft, but it's bouncy. And this one is smooth, it's just soft and bouncy.
Velvet.
Yeah. I think with most jelly cleansers, they do a really good job in not stripping the face completely dry of all the essential oils, which is great. Much needed for dry skin types, as well as combination and even oily, because no matter what skin type you have, you don't want that squeaky clean feeling.
So this is a very gentle gel to foam cleanser.
So one of the key ingredients is the Lady's Mantle, which is an antioxidant ingredient that also helps to fight against free radical damage, especially at the end of the day when we've been strolling through the day and we have a bunch of gunk on our face. And it does a really good job in like a gentle way of taking off makeup. Not like heavy duty, but if you just have like BB cream and a little bit of blush, like it takes it all off in one step. And in terms of soothing ingredients, it's also got oat kernel extract, which is really good for calming the skin, for like redness and inflammation, as well as calendula, which is probably my second favorite ingredient of all after niacinamide.
And all of the scents are from natural sources, but if you are allergic to
essential
oils, this will probably not be the best for you.
It's just like there's a tiny bit in there. It's like from the citrus lemon peel. But it gives that fresh, invigorating sense. And honestly, it's like so far down, it is like a tiny bit. I think the main point is that it's a hydrating cleanser. The glycerin is a humectant, which helps with hydration. And if you like that gel to foam consistency, highly recommend check that one out. So then we have another option that we've been really loving. This is the H2O Plus Hydration Sensitive Gel Cleanser. The whole line is actually so bomb in terms of...
That's why there's 2 more products here.
Yeah, and this compared to that one, that's a full-on jelly.
Yeah.
I feel like this
It has a similar texture.
It does, but it looks more like, it's like if you added a moisturizer into it, that's the consistency. But in terms of texture, very similar.
So this is a Japanese brand, and there's something with Japanese people and water. Like it's just they understand how essential water is to our well-being. So a lot of brands have come out of Japan, like H2O Plus, Urioi, so many lines and so many brands.
All of them are like based in
Water.
And it's formulated with active ingredients like hyssop and eye bright extracts that target sensitive skin, trying to help soothe the appearance of like redness and protect it from stress. Like, you know, when your skin is stressed, it looks dull and it's very dry. So with both these cleansers, because they're very high in that hydrating quality and like water, they both really help with kind of just boosting it in a very subtle way.
And in both of these, we forgot to mention there's amino acids, which help keep your skin barrier healthy and happy.
And they're both, you can use day and night. Moving on to
toners. Belif, Dr. Jart,
Hada Labo,
and H2O Plus Essence. Starting with the Belif Aqua Balm Hydrating Toner for all skin types. I recently just came back from Korea and I brought this with me for the trip and I'm a fan.
day and night.
Yeah, day and night. It's very hydrating and the consistency.
Yeah.
It's so like...
Yeah, it's not like complete water, but it has like a tiny bit of
How do you, yeah, like it's...
viscosity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it.
It's very smooth on the
Yeah.
face. The cool thing about this one is I feel like it would work for a lot of different skin types and skin conditions. It's like gentle enough for any skin condition.
The root of it is hydration. It's just like...
Yeah.
So in this, of course, there's sodium hyaluronate, one of the most hydrating ingredients out there in the world. There's also baobab, honeysuckle, and Napier's aqua formula and Napier's original formula, which is Belif's key ingredient that you can find in almost every single one of their products. So honeysuckle helps to soothe and calm the skin. Baobab helps to lock in moisture and prevent water loss. And sodium hyaluronate, of course, helps keep skin hydrated and happy.
With a lot of the other ingredients, you'll see that it's very like plant and herb based that is very similar for all their products. And that is also known as hanbang when they use, because like Koreans like to ingest those little packets of like intensely medicinal taste. Actually, you drank mugwort, right?
Yes, I drank mugwort in Korea.
And it tastes like nast.
Plants.
Like
It's
a
plant.
plant.
It's quite bitter.
So moving on to Hada Labo, which is probably one of our other favorite brands. This is the premium hyaluronic toner. And this one looks a little goopier.
It is. It's super thick. I think this is probably the thickest one of
Yeah.
them all. If we want to...
Oh my God, like in terms
It
of
holds
texture,
its form.
yeah. It's almost like the jelly
Yeah.
cleanser. But it's because it's formulated with a bunch of different types of hyaluronic acid.
5 to be exact. Especially for people with extremely dry and dehydrated skin.
Yeah, because with thinner toners, I love personally like very lightweight, watery toners because if you put your toner on and it dries out in about 5 seconds after, I would say that's a sign you need a little more, and it's fine to like kind of layer it on a little bit until your skin is nice and moist and stays like that for about 10-15 seconds if you were to do nothing. For me, that's a telltale sign.
Next is the Dr. Jart Vital Hydra Solution Biome Essence. I don't believe this is available in the US yet, but dude, if you're going to Korea anytime soon, this is the jam.
Doesn't it make you so sad that sometimes they release things in other countries
Yeah.
and not like...
But they will soon, hopefully. Dr. Jart, please. In here, of course, there's hyaluronic acid. There's also prebiotics that helps with the microbiomes of your face to keep your skin barrier healthy. And I feel like a lot of Korean brands and a lot of, you know, these OG Korean K-beauty brands, they're all about skin barrier. And then texture.
It's funny because in this video, because everything's like water-based,
Water.
they're like so similar.
They are.
It's very lightweight. Compared to that, this takes like, it's much denser. And then that one's more in line with this.
But they're all super fast absorbing.
Yeah. And then moving on to this one, right? The H2O Plus, this is their hydration sensitive essence.
Most of the active ingredients in the essence is in the cleanser as well, which is also in the serum. And I think with all of these products, it's very hydrating.
Yeah.
How many times can we say hydrating?
The thing with this is because it's water-based, right? Which means like some products are oil-based. Like even some serums are oil-based, which makes it a little thicker. It takes more time to work in. Like a facial oil, it just makes it softer. These are just hydration.
Ooh. So with this one, because it is kind of milky, you expect it to be thicker.
Yeah.
But as soon as you blend it in, it's just water.
Oh my God, it just turns to water. So this just helps to balance the hydration levels on your skin. It's also packed with amino acids, which work together with the amino acids in your skin. If it's lacking, if it's dull, like Frankenstein, really is because of lack of hydration. And if you have combination skin, sometimes you don't have combination skin. You're just dehydrated, girlfriend, boyfriend, anyone out there?
That's me.
Yeah. Even though they're all water-based, very soothing, very calming, do keep in mind that they are still formulated all very differently.
Yes.
So you still want to like look and see which one better suits you, and you can try different ingredients. So moving on to moisturizers.
Yes.
Which there is a lot of.
There's a lot.
So True Cream Aqua Balm. Don't get confused because they're both called True Cream, but one's a moisturizing balm.
Yes.
And one's an Aqua Balm. Okay, so like if we both open it, you can just see the texture right off the bat. One is a typical moisturizer, and then one is the gel formulation. So I used these interchangeably just to kind of like see what the difference was. I think that one, if your combination would still work really well. If you're oily, it would still work, but like a little bit at night. I used it I kind of, you know how people multi-mask? I multi-moisturized.
Ooh.
Yeah, so it was like my chin area was really dry and flaky because I like overkilled with salicylic acid and all these drying agents to like combat my thingy. And then on the top, I used the Aqua Balm. But generally, Aqua Balm still does a really good job in hydrating. Some gel moisturizers, you put it on and it almost just like evaporates, like dissipates into the air, and it doesn't leave your skin feeling hydrated for a long time, even for an oily person. But this one hangs there. So it definitely creates this like layer of nourishment for the skin while being lightweight and gel formula.
The True Cream Aqua Balm is meant for oily skin, but once I tried the True Cream Moisturizing Balm, I was like, that was 4 or 5 years ago, was before I even knew about skincare.
Yeah. So did you find that like you needed to put more on, or it was fine?
No, a little goes a long way. I can use it during the daytime and the nighttime. I think because my skin is just so parched, it works beautifully anytime during the day.
Once again, talking about the ingredients, it's got the Lady's Mantle, which helps with neutralizing skin damage and free radicals and the nasties from the air, as well as just like helping minimize pores in a way that it's helping with hydration. Because when your pores are hydrated, they're not gonna be like saggy and huge and filled with sebum, which is what oily people do. I mean, which is what oily people do. I just fill my pores with sebum, which is true. Okay. But like your pores will be balanced, so it won't produce as much sebum, so then it won't look as big. So this is why I really like lightweight creams. But for dry, it just helps like the skin barrier.
Yeah.
And for both skin types, it helps with Tool, the evaporation part.
There's malachite, which is an antioxidant that helps neutralize free radical activity.
And then there's also plantain that creates the moisture seal on the skin.
There's also oat husk, which helps attract moisture and acts like a humectant.
So then we have, bing! This is the jelly mask that they have, and it's like a pudding formula. It's quite bouncy as well.
It's like jello.
Yeah, and then you put it on and it's kind of the same. A little goes a long way. You spread it all over the face. And this is in place of a moisturizer as a sleeping mask. Do you like sleeping masks?
I love sleeping masks. I feel that this isn't as hydrating as I thought it would be for my very dry, dehydrated, parched skin.
So for me, I almost feel like the first time I used it, it was much thicker than I thought. It was like a little sticky, but then when it dries, it becomes a little like better because it is there to act as a barrier or a shield to really like intensively trap all that in.
Wraps around the contours of your skin.
Yeah. And actually, if you guys are feeling super, super dehydrated and like dull and ashy and all that, I would do a mask as your serum step. So like cleanser, toner, mask, and then this, and it would be like, whoa. Yeah, because it's like a more potent version of your moisturizer. So you wake up like baby, like bing. Yeah.
So the next three is the Origins Ginseng Energy Boosting Gel Moisturizer that Fel loves, the Aven Hydrant's Aqua Gel that I love,
And then the Calendula Serum-Infused Water Cream. So all of these are very similar.
They're very similar. The Aven, there's the encapsulated
Water delivery system.
Yes. So brands like Aven, La Roche-Posay, they're known for their thermal spring water, which is like it's like water on crack.
Healing just in itself.
Yeah.
They said if you bathe in it, it can actually help with dermatitis.
Eczema.
Yeah.
All these different skin conditions.
Also, you can use it in multiple ways.
Oh yeah, you can use it as eye contour cream. You can use it a thicker version as like a sleeping mask.
Yeah.
You can use it as a day cream.
This is like a real OG of mine. It's the Origins Ginseng Energy Boosting Gel Moisturizer. When I first used the Belif Aqua Balm, and they were like my top 2 holy grail moisturizers for like the longest time. This one has a citrus scent and it's kind of like it boosts and wakes you up like that. But in terms of the consistency, they're very similar. Bing. So this one compared to the Aqua Balm, the Aqua Balm is much lighter. When you work it into the skin, it like bursts into water. This one is a little
thicker.
Yeah. So this has also got the caffeine extract for like brightening purposes. Not sure how brightening that will be. And then I think a close buddy of this is the Kiehl's Calendula Water Serum Infused Water Cream. So these are very similar. You apply it on and it's gel and then it's just like, wow. It's like, where did you go? This is amazing. And I chose this because you know how Kiehl's is really known for their Calendula toner? The one with the like flower thing in it. So they made a like serum infused water cream and it does essentially the same thing. Very soothing, very calming. As I said, I really love calendula. Anytime you need an ingredient to help you restore skin barrier, calendula is the way to go.
And the last one would be the Purito Deep Sea Pure Water Cream. So just kind of sharing with you guys the different types of water. So there's like this thermal spring water, there's the water, and then there is the deep sea water. And so the makeup of deep sea water is very similar to that of the water on our skin. So it helps it bind and keeps our skin a lot more moisturized. And there's also niacinamide 2%, which helps with many, many things. And this is like a multi-use water cream. I love it. The Purito is actually made for those with dehydrated skin and people with oily skin. So I think you would actually really love this. And then the Belif moisturizing cream is made for dry skin. The last thing, yes, is the Mediheal N.M.F Natural Moisturizing Factor Aquaring Ampoule Mask. This is my favorite mask because it has this little moisturizing pouch. So Mediheal was founded by a group of dermatologists and estheticians in Seoul University, which is one of the top universities in South Korea. The problem they wanted to fix was dry skin. And in this mask, there's organic humectants such as hyaluronic acid, lipids, amino acids, sugars, minerals, and peptides. This mask also contains willow bark and witch hazel to help tone dry skin.
And the cool thing, or the innovative thing about this face mask is that when you put it on, you know, sometimes we're like, should I take it off? Nah, I want to keep it on longer. So the way to tell when it's ready, time's up, is you'll see the Mediheal
Logo starts appearing.
Yeah, and you can't see that when you first put it on, so it's like, time to peel it off, yo. So there you go, that is our big wave of favorite water-based, aqua-inspired
Products.
Like as we were doing this, we're like, man, all the textures are so similar. But if you really compare them and like
look at the ingredients,
Yeah.
they're very, very different.
And it's like the staying power throughout several hours. I think that will also change. And the key takeaway is that more hydration, you'll never like fumble with that. Just drink a lot of water from the inside. Start with a cup in the morning as the first thing to kind of detox, and then morning and night, try these like hydrating products because it's a foolproof way to get your skin and your skin barrier to sustain its health.
Thank you guys so much for joining us, and thank you again for Belif for sponsoring this video to allow us to share with you guys our favorite water-based products.
And you can get these from different places. You can get Yes Style, you can get this from Sephora. This one, we'll leave all the links below. And we see you in the next episode. Bye.